The church bell rang across the dusty town of Red Creek. 18-year-old Clara Bennett stood at the altar wearing a simple white dress. Her hands trembled as she stared at the man waiting for her, Ethan Carter, the man she had sworn to hate. Years earlier, Clara's father had lost his ranch after a bitter feud with the Carter family. Her father died believing the Carters had ruined them. Since then, Clara carried his anger in her heart. Now she had a plan. She would marry Ethan, gain his trust, and one day make him suffer as her family had suffered. As the preacher spoke, Clara forced herself not to cry. "Do you take this man to be your husband?" "I do," she whispered. But when Ethan looked at her, there was kindness in his eyes. For the first time, doubt touched her heart. After the wedding, Ethan brought Clara to his ranch. Rolling grasslands stretched beneath a golden sunset. Horses grazed peacefully near the barns. "This is your home now," Ethan said softly. Clara expected arrogance. Instead, he carried her suitcase inside and prepared dinner himself. "You cooked?" she asked. Ethan laughed. "Someone has to. The ranch hands would poison us both." To her surprise, she smiled. For a moment she forgot why she had come. But later that night, while looking at a picture of her father, she remembered her mission. She could not let herself care about Ethan Carter, no matter how kind he seemed. Days turned into weeks. Clara helped around the ranch, while Ethan worked long hours with the cattle. One morning her horse stumbled near the river. Before she could fall, Ethan caught her. "Easy there," he said. His strong arm steadied her. Their eyes met. Neither looked away immediately. Later he taught her how to mend fences. They laughed when she accidentally dropped every tool he handed her. "You're terrible at ranch work," Ethan teased. "And you're terrible at teaching," she replied. The laughter felt natural, dangerously natural. Each day Clara found herself looking forward to seeing him, and that frightened her more than anything. One rainy evening, Clara visited the town store. There she overheard two old men discussing the feud between the Bennetts and the Carters. "Such a shame what happened," one said. "The truth never came out." Clara froze. What truth? Before she could ask, the men left. That night she searched through old documents she had secretly brought from her father's belongings. Among them was a letter she had never seen before. The writing was faded. It mentioned missing land records and a corrupt banker named Walter Briggs. Confusion filled her mind. Had her father been wrong? She quickly pushed the thought aside. No, the Carters had to be guilty. Didn't they? Yet every day Ethan seemed less like an enemy and more like a good man trapped inside an old story. Summer arrived. One evening Ethan took Clara to a hill overlooking the prairie. The sky glowed orange and pink. Below them, endless grass danced in the wind. "It's beautiful," Clara whispered. Ethan nodded. "My mother used to bring me here." For hours they talked, not about ranches or work, about dreams, about fears, about loneliness. For the first time, Clara told someone how much she missed her father. Ethan listened quietly. When tears filled her eyes, he handed her his handkerchief. "You don't have to carry all that pain alone," he said. His words touched a place deep inside her heart. As stars appeared above them, Ethan gently took her hand. She didn't pull away. For the first time, Clara realized she was falling in love, and she hated herself for it. The next morning, Clara discovered something shocking. Ethan found a hidden notebook where she had written her revenge plan. Every page revealed her true intentions. His face turned pale. "You married me for revenge?" Clara's heart stopped. "Ethan, I can explain." Was any of it real? The hurt in his voice was worse than anger. Tears filled her eyes. "It started that way." "Started?" His voice cracked. "You lied to me every day." Without another word, Ethan walked away. For the first time since her wedding, Clara felt completely alone. The man she loved now looked at her like a stranger. Determined to learn the full story, Clara visited an elderly lawyer who had lived through the feud. What she learned changed everything. Years ago, Walter Briggs had secretly forged documents and stolen land from both families. He had manipulated the Bennetts and Carters into blaming each other. Neither family had been responsible. The feud had been built on lies. Clara sat in stunned silence. Her father and Ethan's father had both been victims. All those years of hatred had been for nothing. She finally understood. Ethan had never been her enemy. He had suffered just as much as she had. Now she needed to tell him the truth. Before Clara could return home, trouble arrived. Walter Briggs's son, fearing the old secret would ruin his family name, tried to destroy the lawyer's records. A fire broke out in the office. The elderly lawyer became trapped inside. Without hesitation, Ethan rushed into the burning building. He had come searching for Clara after learning where she had gone. Ignoring the danger, he rescued the lawyer and carried the records to safety. His arm was badly burned. Clara rushed to his side. "You could have died." Ethan smiled weakly. "So could you." Looking at him, Clara knew she had never loved anyone more. That evening they sat together on the ranch porch. The sunset painted the prairie gold. Clara held Ethan's injured hand. "I'm sorry," she whispered, "for everything." She told him the truth about the forged documents, the stolen land, the lies, the misunderstanding. Then she lowered her head. "I know I don't deserve forgiveness." For a long moment, Ethan said nothing. Finally, he lifted her chin. "When did your feelings become real?" Clara smiled through tears. "Long before I admitted it." A small smile appeared on his face. "I was hoping you'd say that." Then he pulled her into his arms. The walls between them finally disappeared. Years of pain, anger, and misunderstanding melted away. Only love remained. A year later, another wedding took place. This time there were no secrets, no revenge, no lies. The entire town gathered beneath the open sky. Former enemies stood side by side. The Bennett and Carter families celebrated together for the first time in decades. After the ceremony, Clara and Ethan rode their horses across the prairie. The wind carried laughter through the fields. Ahead of them stretched a future filled with hope. They had built a new ranch together on land shared by both families, a place where old wounds could finally heal. As the sun disappeared beyond the horizon, Ethan reached for Clara's hand. She squeezed it gently. Once, she had married him because she believed he was her enemy. Now she knew the truth. He had always been the person meant to save her heart. Together they rode into the glowing sunset, leaving behind generations of hatred and carrying forward a future built on trust, forgiveness, and love. And for the first time in her life, Clara felt completely at home.